Right, here's the thing. There's actually a bunch of things. I came prepared for this episode, believe it or not, because I thought of a bunch of topics we could discuss. Because I think some of these topics, dude, went mad under the radar. Like, how was it not an enormous discussion point that Nukeduck's the head coach of 100 Thieves? Shall I give you my angle on this? I think I've got a really unique angle, mate.
Okay.
Right? Everyone's going to look at that and think, well, he's not like a super media personality. He's a player. And, you know, he obviously is a player towards the end. Look, he was still respected, but he wasn't like a big star. I'm sure a lot of people are a bit nonplussed by it. They're like, okay, is that all right? If you don't know, guys, both go look at my interviews for start off. It's all over the place there. In interviews, and especially behind the scenes, dude, this player is extremely rare out of European League of Legends players. This is the player that everyone who has played with them or coached them, sometimes even just their rivals, dude, raves about behind the scenes. Like, he is one of the smartest league players, like, ever, basically. They say, like, he's one of the only ones who understands, like, put it this way, mate, I had, like, K's and people like that who were analysts telling me, like, yeah, he really taught me a lot about wave management, actually. Like, dude, he's the mid laner, and you're the analyst. By the way, that's not a diss against K's. The point is, K's is at a high level there. Normally, if you don't know, the Kelsey Moses of the world, that's why you bring them to teams. They have to teach the jungler, like, which wave to go in onto the top lane to get his wave. This guy knows it, and he's teaching his teammates it. That's the reason. And then every coach says he's like a dream to work with. So I could actually see, by the way, on an X's and O's level, this guy could be amazing for fucking League of Legends. The only downside I have is he has been known, he's a little bit of more of like, let's say, I mean, Scandinavia, he's a little bit more stubborn, a little bit more, let's say, he's not super verbose, he's not going to talk a lot. So I would just say, to me, it's if he has the right bunch of players, if they vibe with him, I actually think he could be a very good coach, mate. I think this is a player where, even though people like to take the Bjergsens of the world and go, they'll definitely be a good coach because they were great at League. Like, no, the difference is Bjergsen had all those red flags, like never had a jungler that worked, teams collapsing, coach never worked. Nukeduck, mate, as a fucking, I think he's a shoo-in for this job. It's one of the best, like, player signings and gambles I think I've seen, because as I say, mate, this guy has an unbelievable, like, track record of social proof from the teams he's been on. Everyone says he's mustard.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing about this is that they kicked out Case as the head coach in order to make way for Nukeduck on this roster, and very similar things were said about Case. I think that Case really was like a hot commodity during some of these off seasons as teams were looking to hire coaching staff, and his game knowledge is also respected, and they just kicked him out. He's also a pro player, so we can't make the pro player is, you know, he's respected as a coach by other pro players because he used to be a pro player argument. And I don't know if Nukeduck's going to be able to turn this team around, because the fact is that 100 Thieves just looks fucking terrible.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Even if literally what normally a coach would never do, Monty, you know, everyone always says that line. Like, well, if I'm coaching Perks, I'm not telling him how to play. Nukeduck, please tell Bjergsen how to play mid lane in 2023. Please, please. Because I've watched Bjergsen ever since he came back from that fucking time as a coach. And he's never been Bjergsen again, mate. He's had odd games where he was all right, or mid lane talent was just really whack. Like, I think some of these games they split. Here's what sucks about Bjergsen, dude. He does what it... The joke, I made this joke years ago, but everyone who hated on Froggen, Bjergsen is a worse version of everything you said Froggen became. Way worse. Because Froggen has still played to win lane, to win the team fight, to be ahead, to have winning matchups. Bjergsen does that reckless shit that I cannot abide by, dude, where you just start doing nothing when the game's going badly. And you lose the game, but because your scoreline says 1-2, it looks like you weren't the problem. It's the guy who died 6 times was, but like, that's just how a mid laner avoids responsibility. Like, I think he's been so whack this split, mate. Bearing in mind he's Bjergsen. Like, if you had to rank mid laners, yeah, he's probably still in the middle of the pack. Okay, that's fine. And by the way, I'll just say it right now. This is the comment that'll get people to hate on me. I think Jensen's been better at mid lane this split than fucking Bjergsen has. Sit the fuck down.
I don't think that's actually.
And he's elo held in easily one of the worst teams ever. He's in a really bad team, bro. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Jensen fan. I just think for real, the eye test checks out, mate. He gives his team chances to win even if they don't. Bjergsen just does fuck all in these games and they just lose ungracefully.
I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, and maybe Case had to go because of conflicts with the players. But the problem is, I don't know what 100 Thieves does well. Like 100 Thieves in this last week when they played against Cloud9. They picked Aurelion Sol. Now, the thing about Aurelion Sol is that I do believe, we don't have a lot of data on him in the professional scene. Like, I do believe if you treat him like a Kassadin, right? I was talking to Empire about
Get it through the lane and it'll carry. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was talking to Empire about this on the stream, yes. and this is a point that Empire made, because I was saying basically, like, when I was reviewing the Cloud9 versus 100 Thieves game, I was just saying, like, I don't think you can play a Zeri Lulu lane and get shoved in bot and then get shoved in mid on the Aurelion Sol, because you lose so much Drake priority, and early Drake priority just speeds up games right now. Everything is about playing through bottom lane, getting priority, taking early drakes, threatening like 22 to 23 minute dragon souls, right? Accelerating the game, playing aggressively. This is what many of the best teams in the world are doing at the moment. And so if you're going to play Aurelion Sol, you really have to play something that's going to be very aggressive in the bot side so that you can cover for Aurelion Sol's weaknesses and allow him to scale. So I don't understand how 100 Thieves ends up with a composition that is Fiora, Sejuani, Aurelion Sol, Zeri, and Lulu. This doesn't enable anything. And Cloud9, it makes it so easy for Cloud9. So it's not even just that composition in isolation sucks. It's like they're not even trying to play their opponents because Cloud9 has been playing an up-tempo game. They have been playing aggressively, right? That's been their style.
Sure, yeah, of course.
So you also, if you're not even drafting to your specific opponent, you're not even trying to counter it. And then to complete the entire whiplash, the very next day, they play against CLG. And you know what they do? They've completely 180. They go to a composition that we might see a team like T1 playing, right? We might see T1 playing it because they are the best team in the world and basically invented the current state of Gragas Lee Sin, that combo in the 2v2. And the thing about this combo is that you need to be super aggressive with it. You need to tower dive. You need to make plays. You need to just like all in the mid lane. And you know what they were playing into? They were playing into the jungle mid duo that they used the day before, Aurelion Sol and Sejuani. You have to dive the Aurelion Sol. You have to play aggressively. This is what this 2v2 does. It enables you to get priority and agency on the map. It allows you to punish scaling low mobility mid laners like Aurelion Sol. This is what it does. And they completely whiff on using this. So they can't run the scaling compositions. But you'll notice that CLG with Aurelion Sol used Kalista and Varus in bot lane. Guess why? Because that provides you through some bot lane priority. They can't do anything right. Like they can't play Caitlyn Lux properly. They can't play solid mid-jungle 2v2s properly. They can't play scaling compositions properly. This team is entirely incompetent. They do nothing. They literally do nothing well. Nothing well.
Oh no, so you called it all those weeks ago. These are easily the biggest frauds because, like, you know, when Dom tried to counter, like, no, it's Team Liquid. Like, Team Liquid was fraud from day one, mate. These ones, at least on paper, should have been decent because everyone, like, I did the same thing, mate. You look at the lineup, you're like, surely at least Bjergsen and Doublelift will be like upper half of the league for their positions, and that alone will carry you to a few wins. Like, as you say, they have no win conditions on this team. They don't even play as a team, mate.
But it's also that they completely have no identity because they 180 their identity day to day. And they do it all badly, and their drafts are bad. I don't know where you go from here. Like, is switching the coach really the move?
Is like some of the players were pretty bad as well. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I think Closer and Doublelift are probably the two best players on this roster right now.
By the way, I'm just going to say this because obviously it's a pattern. Let's be real. Bro, how many fucking great junglers and LCS is Bjergsen going to have no synergy with? I've just seen Closer be good with everyone. He was good with Abedage. He was good with fucking DeMonte. Like, give me a break. Like, Bjergsen, this guy's actually one of the best junglers in the region. Like, if you can't fucking combo with him, like, what's even the point of playing mid lane anymore? Come on. He's the dream as well. He's a gank-heavy jungler.
Yes, and it's also that his early game was always his biggest strength.
That's what he loved,
right?
Exactly.
Yep.
Yes. You would think they'd power through that mid and fucking wreck everyone.
Yeah. I mean, it is this team. I mean, and the state of the LCS is such that 100 Thieves, given their strength of schedule, is like probably going to make playoffs. And that's very depressing. Like, because Team Liquid is also super underwhelming. We're in a spot where 100 Thieves may be able to actually make a run here. And this team is just so terrible.
Also, by the way, I'm just going to throw this out there because everyone, me included, loved memeing on Reggie for all these years and how bad the team is, blah, blah, blah. Spoiler, Bjergsen and Doublelift, you look like fools now, mate. That TSM lineup is legitimately better than your lineup. And quite frankly, if you played them in the playoffs, I would take them to beat you in a best of 5. I fucking hope they play in the playoffs, dude. Because it's not like I have some love of Reggie and TSM, but I almost think like Bjergsen and Doublelift's hubris just needs to be exposed in a best of, like ideally in the lower bracket as the elimination match.
either
Get
way,
'em
we
out,
win,
get 'em
right?
out.
Either way,
Yes.
we win. I don't mind the narrative either way. Either the hubris is exposed, or TSM is punished by having double lifted Bjergsen, beat them after Reggie was like, "Nah, I don't want you, you shitter double lift on my team." So I'm okay with it either way. Either way, I'm happy.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.